All right, we're back with another news update, Friends of Roane County Schools. I'm here with Jeff Tanner, as always. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about the levy, and this section is going to be tied into why it's important to support our school system, why it's important to pass this levy, and what that means for our citizens and our students. So talk a little bit about where you think it starts as far as why it's important to support this levy and support our county.
Well, it's absolutely important to support our students. I mean, that's the easy, obvious choice.
Yep.
You know, we need to be able to provide needed materials, technology updates, and those kinds of things. And we'll kind of break it down here a little bit in a second. But we need to provide that for our children to give them the best opportunity to succeed.
Right, and that we talked earlier, and that starts with the teachers.
Oh, absolutely.
What does this mean for our teachers as far as recruitment, retainment? What does that mean?
We'd love to do more, and I think we need to do more. But right now, at least it gives them some extra salary supplement that year for our teachers and for our service personnel who are with our children during the day to try to help, retain them in these positions in our county.
Right.
Roane County, if you look at the statistics, Roane County, student-wise, we lost 64 students last year.
Right.
There's an economic impact to that.
Yes.
The federal government, we get funding for those students, and it's about $3,000. So you're looking at a little over $300,000.
Right.
In loss.
That funding comes to the federal level, the state level, and then the state gives you money to educate your children based on your population.
Right.
So we've lost some students. It's been on the downturn the last couple of years, so we're losing money essentially to help educate.
Oh, absolutely, and we lost a largeable population of students this past year.
Right. It's a
but you see that,
year for that,
and you see that in our community too. The census. You look at Roane County. It is our census, or just people living in Roane County, has dwindled down.
Right.
And so that downturn, and that impacts a lot of what happens. I mean, how we provide services in Roane County: fire, ambulance, police, all those other necessary services.
Right.
They're paid through by taxes. Mm-hmm. And if there aren't people living here and moving here, then that tax load gets dropped down.
Right.
Those property owners aren't here, they're not going to be paying the taxes.
And what you do have has to be stretched thinner and thinner.
Stretched thinner and thinner. So if we can provide those things, good quality health care, we've talked about this before.
Yep.
Good quality health care, access to all the needs that somebody needs to be able to move here.
Right.
Part of that is a good quality education. We live 45, 50 miles away from the state capital, largest city in the state.
Yep.
We're a good bedroom, fit for a good bedroom community where people can live here, work here, or live here and work other places.
Right.
But you've got to have these things in place, and part of that is to have a good quality education system.
And I think you hit on that. One of the best things, at least in my opinion, about Roane County is we're not in a city.
No.
And we're rural, but yet we're affluent enough because we're close enough. We're close to Parkersburg. We're close to Charleston. We're not that far from Morgantown. Roane County is in the middle of West Virginia. It is a great hub. We offer a lot of everything.
We got a lot of amenities. We have good fire, EMS services. We have good police protection.
Yep.
Lower crime rates. We have all those things that people want to look. We need to continue to provide that good quality education.
Right, and this will help. It'll help recruit and retain teachers.
Yes.
It'll help give teachers the supplies and necessary things they need
and
in the
the
classroom.
technology for the kids.
There you go.
Absolutely, it helps provide those things. It helps try to provide those, a lower student-to-teacher ratio. So those teachers have more time to work with and be able to help each individual student.
Right.
Obviously, that's going to help that student be a better learner.
Right, and if a lower student-teacher ratio is wonderful for every student.
Yes.
Not only the student that's falling behind, but the student that's gifted and needs more challenging work.
And they can go on. It's going to provide funding for our facilities. It's going to help upgrade facilities when we need upgrades. It's going to help maintain those facilities that need maintained.
Right.
Maintain kitchens, maintain school facilities, maintain those infrastructure type things that we have to do. It's going to possibly help us be able to get some new facilities built. Yep. We're looking at trying to add some facilities onto our existing buildings to try to provide more opportunities for our kids.
And that's important. And we talked about what's here, but also recruiting professionals. And I know you work at Roane General Hospital. When it's time to recruit a doctor or, and it doesn't matter what it may be, a business owner themselves, a restaurant owner, when they come into our community, one of the first things they'll look at is what is here, what opportunities do my children have here? And that's the context that we look at. This will provide that base and that context for them to say, what kind of education system do you have in place, what kind of community support do you have for that education, and this helps that across the board. Talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and if we can, it just shows that there is a community support for the system, and that we're willing to help provide the things that our kids need, our children need, to be successful.
And if someone moves out in the AMA area, for instance, because they work in Charleston, but they want the benefits of Roane County, some of this will help them out.
Oh, absolutely. You look at the transportation, it gives that activity bus where, those kids can stay after school and participate in band and choir and whatever other activities, athletics.
I know, Gary transports kids to Walton so they can participate in softball and baseball and track and football and vice versa, and then the high school kids. So important across the board. And highlight a little bit, just touch on each category and what that means to the citizens of Roane County, what it would mean to someone that's moving here, how that would affect them.
Well, if you look at each category, the first category is the funds for the instructional materials, textbooks, supplemental materials, software, those kinds of things. It's also tech support.
Right.
Provide somebody to kind of go in and help prepare and to train staff on that.
Yep.
It's also for some technological updates,
Right.
getting some new technology in there as we
always
need
need
to.
that.
Absolutely. The next thing is to look at, again, we talked about the lower student-to-teacher ratios, trying to keep as much professional staff as we can in the classroom to help with our students. We've talked about the facilities, to provide those capital improvements, added security, which we've seen what's happened in our country. We've got to be able to up the security upgrades.
Roane County is a wonderful place, but there's always improvement for that technology.
Absolutely, you've got to be able to step up and make those kind of new security
Make
needs as they come available. Absolutely,
you got to make it available.
Absolutely, it's going to look at providing a salary supplement to our staff, professional and service personnel, to try to help retain them. It's going to look at trying to provide the funding for the activity bus, but also to provide that as safe funding.
Yep.
Researchers showed that the safest transportation for students this age is on a school bus.
Right. And particularly in a rural county, the school bus has the flashing lights on the top. They're driven by professionals. Yes. That's what you want for your children.
And to try to get them to where they can go do other enrichment type things.
Right. Expand their opportunities.
Expand their opportunities, absolutely. To go to play centers, field trips, to go to math field days, social studies fairs, those kinds of things. Provide that opportunity for them. And then the last thing it does, too, is it helps to support our WVU extension agents and some of the enrichment activities they provide to our students, directly to our students over the summer.
Well, and we know we're a rural county. We're steeped in agriculture.
Yes.
WVU extension is an important part of what we do in our county across the board.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
okay, for the average person, break that down. I know you threw out some costs in our other show. We know the cost.
So if you look at that, in our other shows we talked about a family with a $100,000 house, a $20,000 vehicle, and their assessed value for the year, what they would have to pay for just for this levy, be $121.30 roughly. If you break that down and look at it, it was like 33 cents a day, $2.33 a week. Now, what could you give up for $2.33 a week?
Right. That is the critical question, and I would give up 2 sodas a day. Or
Bag
a week.
of
I'm
chips.
sorry, a week.
A week.
A week. 2 sodas a week. So that's pretty easy to do. A bag of chips a week. It might be a local burger and drink or burger and fries. Give that up once a week. That's not asking a whole lot.
It's a tremendous investment. Looking at that, and everybody's got to your tax. You need to look at that and take care of that on an individual basis. But that's a tremendous investment. Whatever it's going to be, it's a tremendous investment that we can make in our children.
And when you sit down and look at it and say, would you be willing to give up a bag of chips a week so that your child can have a better environment,
or your
better
grandchild,
education, or your grandchild? I think that is highly important as well. This is multi-generational. This will affect grandchildren, and what did we talk about earlier? A child that is 2 will hit the schools when this is in effect.
There'll be 7 when this is still going on.
If you have a toddler, this will be important for you if you're a parent of a toddler.
Or if your children have left the system. It's still important to think about. Giving these children opportunity for some extracurricular activities. Giving these children some stuff to do for enrichment activities in the summer. If you can give them something to do, they're not going to be staring on the street corners.
Right.
They're not going to be getting into activities that aren't going to be productive.
Right.
Okay? And so, even for the average citizen, this helps you.
Yep. No matter where you're at across the board, it improves our community.
It improves our community.
And that's what everybody wants.
And like I said, it's time. It's
Yep.
time. It's time again. It's time that we step up. We've not had a levy passed in this county since 1946. It's time to have that done. In 1993, we felt it necessary as a community to support a bond.
Yep.
It's now time to step back up and support a levy to help this school system again. It's time to start doing these things.
Time for that change. I agree. Okay, if someone wants to get a hold of you so they can donate, donate their time, volunteer, how's the best way to do that?
Best way to do that is if you go onto Facebook.com, look up our page, which is friend page, which is Friends of Roane County Schools.
Yep.
If you go to that, like us, you'll see updates coming up. There's opportunities right there. You can kind of get back in touch with us that way. That's the best way to keep in track of what's going on.
Okay, and you guys continually update that and throw out more information for folks that need it. And again, that's Facebook.com. And then go to Friends of Roane County Schools page. Like the page, you'll get those updates automatically. You can also message you through that page as well and ask any questions or offer to help.
Yes, absolutely.
Support the cause. Okay. Well, Jeff, thank you very much, and we'll be
Thank
back
you.
with more information in some future shows.